Your main man Ed will coming back to you, and today I'm going to be talking about what is your all-time best character death story. And it can either be as you being a game master, or as a player character yours that died, or in a game you were in that someone else died, or whatever. As long as you have details, feel free to send video responses in. So I think we could have a lot of really funny, interesting stories as a community. I'm glad to be back. I actually have time to do a video of work's really been kicking my ass recently. Had just a heavy work spike. I don't know a lot of you know what that's like. So, of course, I'm actually able to get a video, maybe two tonight, we shall say. But, so basically, you know, that's the question from you guys in terms of what I'd like to see down in the box below. Feel free to write in the comments, but it's kind of hard to get in 500 characters. I don't know why 500 characters, but feel free to send the video responses into that. I think it, kind of fun to hear. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about the best character death. This is like a tent my son has behind me. The best character death I ever had. This would have been, well over 10 years ago. When I was running Ravenloft game around for 4.5 years. Started it when I was in between junior and senior year in high school. I ran well into college. One of my buddies from high school, actually we saw him maybe a year ago, a guy named Nate, a year and a half probably. Yeah, but anyway, Nate had a character who was a wizard, and he'd run through a couple characters in the course of the Ravenloft game. You know, having died for it is Ravenloft, and Ravenloft is quite a bad place. And I'm running a module. The module was like Light in the Belfry or something like that. It had a CD that came with it, and instead of reading text boxes, modules are also want to have you do. What this did is you would play it, and it would have this like eerie background music and this really excellent voice narrator. It's a really, really good module. I'll try to find out what the name is. But like Light in the Belfry or something like that. I probably the name was completely wrong. And you would assemble pieces of this shards of this mirror and come back together and basically bring back this necromancer. And you can get up into his study at some point in the module, and which all takes place inside this large house. And they go into the study, open it up. I hit the descriptor box. Nate goes, boom, immediately. I'll run for the book and grab it. Everyone else in the group screams, no! And there's maybe like 7, 8 players. I used to have a lot more in those days that I will abide at current times. But they're no! No! Because every other person there, except greedy ass Nate, I'm trying to get Nate to watch this. You, Nate, you paid the price. Realized this was clearly a trap. There's like this little pedestal raised up in the big grim wall of the powerful wizard. You know he's not going to have traps for protections of magical natures and auras of cruel device upon his eyes. Of course he is. Anyone should know that. Especially another wizard. But no, I really get it. So I say, okay, well, that's only a fair way to do it. Everyone roll initiative. The Nate rolls like a natural 20. And whenever anyone in my game wanted to do something stupid, they would always roll a 20 on initiative. Because damn it, if the Mr. Ravenloft don't encourage some stupid ass bullshit from players to get themselves killed. He runs up, grabs a spell. Alright, of course, what happens? Save versus death. I think it was like a -2 penalty. Save versus death roll. He fails. Thump! Down he goes. But here's the rub. The party had just seen all these like zombies. Something recently just happened, and they're really worried that he's going to be animated as some sort of undead. They're in Ravenloft. They've been in Ravenloft for a long period of time. Completely valid concern. They take his body and go completely out of, the module course, back out to the very beginning of the property, out past that, and into the little woods that's out there. They dig and dig and dig. And they had shovels. They did have shovels. They dug, and I was asking, okay, well, how long do you want to spend? Well, we want to get like 6 feet deep. All right. And all of them are just going at it, just digging and digging and digging. And I'm counting down the time, and I having to make some rolls because Nate's character was not dead. It's a feigned death spell that's put on you. It makes you look completely dead, and no one, really checked him over too well. They just, oh, he's dead, yeah. They took him and they buried him, and I had to make all the rolls, trying to give Nate some possible degree of chance, but it was like a 16th level necromancer with an incredibly long duration. This is, of course, AD&D 2nd edition. they buried his ass under there, and the really horrible part is when I pulled Nate outside after I described the list, is really going over in this vivid, horrendously morbid detail account of how he's watching them. And he's trying I'm trying to get a role play, so trying to say, I'm trying to call out, and but no, it won't happen. Like his lips won't move, nothing's happening. His eyes are just wide open, unblinking, staring, seeing them talking about burying him, dragging him out of the house, taking him, digging, and just imagine the utter agony in this state. It has to be almost timeless to you. Time would have to drag by so slow with that necromantic effect upon you, in addition to having everyone digging deeper and deeper, then taking you, tossing you in the pit and covering it up, patting in that dirt. And the worst part is, the end of time is, there was still a little amount of time left on that curative spell. Nate set under the ground, or that faint death spell. Nate's under the ground with the weight of all this earth crushing down on top of him. But it doesn't kill him, because he doesn't need to breathe or anything like that at the time. He's just waiting under the ground until finally the spell wears off. But he's so far under, and I give the players a chance. And the perception, I think one or maybe two of them heard it, and they're like, "Oh, he's under," because they didn't even know he really wasn't. So they're like, "Oh," they're hearing like some sounds under there. And then I remember one of them. I think it was Frank, the black guy in my user mastermind, who are my players' videos. You could see him. I believe he was one of the ones that made the perception roll. He has a character called Black Mist, and he's just patting it down even harder. If there was any possible chance of this guy, and then they were going over in vivid detail how tight they were packing everything, how much earth they wanted to put, how they were utterly determined to make sure that he did not get out of there, because they were scared to death he was going to come back as an undead and fuck them. And when they heard him under there, they were even more horrified. And they're like, saying things, and I think, someone, I don't know, maybe tried to turn him or something. And he's under there, and of course, eventually the asphyxiation just crushes him after the spell wears off. But it was very, very, very funny. One of my more enjoyable deaths from the Ravenloft campaign, particularly one that wasn't player with a player. There was a lot of those, temptation and storylines like that you have in Ravenloft. But it was really, really funny. And I'm going to have to send this to Nate and make fun of him. Nate, you got your ass crushed and asphyxiated, and you were paid the price for being a greedy piece of trash. Piece of garbage. Oh, God, I had a great time with that. But, yeah, I want to hear your guys' best stories. Either text them in, use them many comments you need to. I know 500 characters, you can't say very much. Or send in video responses. I think it's quite funny. The best one that you've had to happen to you, or as a game master with your characters, or having seen in the course of the game.